Hey, this is Alan with GameLark Remixes, and I'm joined by none other than RichaadEB.
Hey!
The one, the only.
Yep.
So, thank you for agreeing to be interviewed and sharing your time with me and with us, with YouTube.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's an honor, it's a pleasure. I'm excited to do it, especially after this last video where I was like, hey, if you have questions, let me know. So this is kind of like an opportunity for at least one person to do that. So you lucky little dick.
I know. I'm so fortunate. No. Yeah. So I got a lot of questions, all right?
Yeah.
First question is, obviously, you like metal, right?
No.
No? Not at all?
No, of course I like metal.
So how did you decide, I'm going to take some progressive metal noodling from like BT Bam, which some of your early covers feature Between the Bear and Me, and combine that with video game covers? Like, did you just come up with that, or was there some kind of inspiration behind combining video games and progressive metal?
Well, it wasn't really like a thing where I just sat down one day and said like, oh, I'm just gonna make a BT Bam song with the video game. Like, that wasn't something that really crossed my mind. That's just not naturally, but that's just how I like to write music. Mm-hmm. Is kind of like in a progressive metal / metalcore, technical death metal standpoint, I guess. Mm-hmm. And a lot of video game music already lends itself towards being like progressive, with like odd time signatures and all kinds of like weaving harmonies and stuff. So it really was just kind of like a match made in heaven. It wasn't really something that's premeditated. Like there was like when I did decide to finally like sit down and start doing these covers. That's just how it started ending up with, like, that's how it just kind of came out for me, because that's how it sounded in my head. I was like, oh, I wanted to do it like this part of this song type of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it's been. And everyone's like, oh, you sound like BT Bam. I'm like, you know what? That's fine by me. So
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Did you just like video games and decide you're going to do covers? Did you discover the YouTube community of video game covers? Or?
Oh, I hate video games.
Oh,
no, is like I like video game music, but it wasn't something that I was like super crazy interested in. Mm-hmm. Like there was tracks and songs that I liked, but it was never something where it was like, man, my passion is video game music. Mm-hmm. Like recently, if you ask me now, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I fucking love video game music. But back then, what it was is I was a bedroom musician who was in a band that just played local shows, and I saw all these people online who are really passionate about what they do. And these people are like really good at stuff to the point where they feel compelled to put it online and share it with other people. And not just in a pretentious way, but in a way that people actually enjoy it. Like people are like, oh man, this is awesome. And that doesn't really like, it wasn't even like video game covers that got me interested. It was just other musicians, let's players, speedrunners, people who are just good at like sports, like just people who are passionate about what they do. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I'm sitting here on like 10 years of guitar experience, 9 years of guitar experience back then. I should probably do something with this. I should probably put myself on this tool that we have that literally pretty much the entire world has access to just at their fingertips. Mm. I figured that's a great way to do it, and YouTube's the best platform to do it from what I can tell, or at least one of them. So I said, you know what? I like progressive music. I like video game music. I could do originals, but that's most likely not going to get quite as much traction. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just go with progressive video game. And like I said, that wasn't the initial plan. I don't want to contradict myself, because I literally was just like, I'm going to do video game covers. And started playing. I was like, okay, this sounds kind of like, you know, Korpiklaani, or this sounds like Between the Bear and Me or Agalloch or something. Let's just roll with this trend. I like it. Other people like it, so we'll just keep doing it. And that's how I got started with it.
So did you say you were in a band at the time when you first started putting stuff up on YouTube?
Yep, I was in a local technical deathcore band.
Okay, I got
out of that.
I was gonna say, I guess not.
No. Like I still really enjoy listening to that genre of music, and there's still a lot of influence from that genre of music in my playing, especially with my video game stuff. Mm-hmm. Not so much lately, but the band just kind of dissolved. It like felt like I lost interest. Some of the other members lost interest, and I was kind of focusing more on doing YouTube for a little while, and now it's kind of like my primary thing. And it's been honestly one of the cooler little projects I've ever gotten into. It's definitely more interesting than just starting a local band and playing bars every weekend, in my opinion, but that's just me.
I think that it lends itself to people that, I mean, it provides a way for you to be a musician, performer, and entertainer all at once. You can be a great musician, and some people decide just to put up static images or video game footage, and then they're playing. And some people decide to do live recordings or record the audio and record the video. I'm just saying it seems like maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago, YouTube was not even an option for musicians to even to think about getting any money or any exposure. And it's just crazy that within like the past 10 years, you used to have to play, like you said, bar shows and work your way up that way. And for a lot of people, like I interviewed Ace Waters, who also talked about the fact that, it's difficult when you have a family to tour or to go and do bar shows all the time. Absolutely. So I think this is a perfect way for people that are creative to put out their creative output. Yeah, absolutely. And have the world see it without having to make certain sacrifices. It's more convenient, I guess, for everybody, really. Yeah, we could sit here in our, boxers or underwear or whatever and watch you play guitar if we want. Not saying that I do that. And
I can totally sit down in my boxers on camera and play guitar, but... No, but what I was going to say too, to add to that, is not only is it like a great avenue to do all that stuff, but you're literally like, at least in my case, and I know like in Ace's case and a lot of other people who are doing this in their case, like with a lot of the VGM community and other musicians, you're like the sole producer of everything. Mm-hmm. So there's the music, there's the mixing, the mastering, the video, like the shooting, the editing, like everything is up to you. So it's a huge learning experience to get all this stuff down and make it like your own thing. Mm-hmm. And like I've actually had job interviews before where like they Google my name and my channel comes up and they're like, "Did you do all this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do this in my free time as a hobby." And it's like, it's always impressive. Like it's just an insane amount of stuff that you need to know how to do. So if there's anyone who's thinking about getting into it, not only just because it's convenient, also consider it for the benefits of having to learn all this stuff and knowing like an entirely different skill set from what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think about that. So switching up gears a little bit, let's talk about some collaborations. You've collaborated with a lot of people. I'm going to point out a couple important collaborations that you did, at least in my opinion, important.
Good, because I've forgotten all the
charity albums. You've worked on a multiplayer, a tribute to video games, which was created by Ro Swiggles 1987, right? Mm-hmm. And you did a Mass Effect cover for that one.
Yep.
You did Operation 1-Up cover as well, which was the Streets of Whiterun, I think.
Yep, that's true.
And that was for Thunderscott created that one. So
yeah, that was his brainchild for the most part. Yeah.
I have a couple questions for that. One, how did you find it? What were your initial thoughts when they contacted you? Because Ro was he was saying in one of the interviews that that kind of thing hadn't really been done before, where that cohesive, collaborative effort of a bunch of like over 20 or 30 VGM artists coming together to put together one album. Mm-hmm. I mean, was it exciting? Were you kind of like, oh, we'll see how this works? Or I mean, you can be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In both cases, I was asked directly by Ro and then Evan Thunderscott. Yeah. Explicitly, like they asked me, like, "Hey, we're putting together this," and they both are kind of like co-collaborators for each one. It's not like they're independent, but they straight up just asked me on Facebook, and I said yes. And I thought it was a good idea. It's for a good cause. Like I enjoy doing it. And really, I mean, like there's. It's not like there's millions and millions of people doing this stuff, but at the same time, it's like we have a pretty wide selection of people that we can like ask, and like naturally there's going to be some people who are like, "Oh, I'm busy," or "I don't think I'll be able to do it." But for the most part, in both cases, we didn't really run into many snags. Like we asked, I mean, I didn't ask them, but like for the most part, they asked like Little V Mills and CS Guitar 89 and Family Jewel 7X. And all these other people, they just straight up asked them, and they said, "Yeah, sure, we'll do it." And it wasn't really like the album itself is a big deal, but it wasn't a big deal for people to be a part of it, which is awesome. So, and like the overall experience of like contributing a track to those albums was awesome. Like it was really cool. Like we still bring it up now and then, and now we're doing a second one.
Yeah,
which you're probably going to get to. And I need to make an announcement video for, but you're going to ask something.
Oh, I was going to ask you. For Operation 1-Up, your choice of Streets of Whiterun, I make that mistake too.
Post-rock,
ambient, whatever cover.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a change up from your normal style, right?
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
was wondering if that was a conscious decision or if you were just playing around like, I like this riff and Skyrim and I don't know. How did that come to be?
That is one of those tracks. I mean, there are tracks that I'll cover and I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to cover however I want. But the Streets of Whiterun and several other tracks, like another one is Corridors of Time, are they mean a lot to me. So like that track in particular, I was like, man, the original track is just so mellow and it just builds and it's super atmospheric. So I don't want to like go in there and just start fucking doing breakdowns and shit. Like I don't want to do that. So and it's different for Corridors of Time. Like that had its own different thing. But Streets of Whiterun, like I had been thinking of doing that arrangement for like probably a year before I even started doing covers. Like that was something that crossed my mind. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool to do a cover of that in the style of like Godspeed You, Black Emperor, or Explosions in the Sky. And that's where I drew most of my influence from with that cover, with particularly with Streets of Whiterun. And it like I was really like kind of like not anxious, but just like nervous that it wouldn't really turn out that well. And then Casper jumped on that one as well. CS Guitar 89, like he wanted to be part of it, and he laid down some sick bass stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff in that track that you probably don't hear upon the initial listen that he's doing, and you listen back and you're like, wait a minute, what was that? A lot of that's him. But like it was this completely new thing, and I think it turned out really good. Like I can say that I'm like happy with the arrangement, despite how much that song, like that track, means to me. And how easily I could have fucked it up, in my opinion. You know? So, it was definitely just like a foray into an entirely new thing, but I don't know. I think I did okay. Like, I'm happy with it.
It was alright. I'm messing with you. Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you.
Speaking of tracks that mean a lot to you, do you have some personal favorites besides that? And I just also want to say, I have a personal favorite, which was Midna's Lament, and I actually picked that for one of my new series, GameLark Top Picks. That was the track of the month. And I noticed that you got featured on like Zelda Informer and a bunch of other websites for that. And that was an insane collaboration with Insane in the Rain music.
Insane in the Rain music. Yeah, dude.
But I saw like featuring Insane in the Rain music. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Right? That's what everyone thinks, and that's what I wanted them to think. But like that part came together so well, and I was like, this needs a saxophone. And then I asked Carlos, and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, I think this needs a saxophone. So there was like, yeah, dude, like, so
sax it up, saxy.
Yeah, dude, we made it saxy. It was fun. Yeah, I'm happy you like that one. That's not necessarily a song that I'm like head over heels in love with, but it's like one of the most memorable pieces from that game, from Twilight Princess. So yeah, I wanted to do it justice, and I had like a really unique arrangement in mind for it, and naturally, it sounds just like BT Bam, like every single other fucking cover I do. But
again, is that a problem? I don't think it is.
I'm fine with it.
So, what about some other tracks? What would you say, like maybe one or two of your favorites that mean a lot to you besides the Streets of Whiterun? If you had to pick,
like covers that I've done, or cover like just anything.
Yeah, covers that you've done.
Probably I think Corridors of Time, because other than Streets of Whiterun, that song, that piece has been. Like, that piece has stuck with me since I played that game when I was a kid. Because, like, just given that point in the game and, like, the theming that they're throwing at you, just, like, what's happening, that is, like, literally the perfect piece of music to go along with that part of the game. And, like, it stuck with me for fucking ever, and I love that. I love that track. And I didn't want to just do kind of like a acoustic guitar thing, even though I did that with Streets. I had this interesting, like, kind of genty sort of idea for it in mind, and I'd been playing around with it in my mind forever, and I took forever, like, mixing that, and I listen back on it now, the cover itself, and I don't think it's that great, because I've gotten so much better at mixing, at least I think I have. But at the time, like, that was the most work I've sunk into any project until the Shovel Knight medley. So definitely Corridors of Time. Another one that I'm a huge fan of was actually the one I think right before that, which was Battle Rock Galaxy, because I fucking love Mario Galaxy.
That game has one of the best soundtracks of the Mario.
I need to cover more from it, but covering orchestrated music fucking sucks. But when you can do it, it's great. And I listened back to Battle Rock Galaxy like a few days ago, because like I'll come back to my music like once in a while. it's not like I'm listening to it every day, but like once in a great while I'll be like, oh yeah, I did this, and like I listened to that and I was like, oh my god, I forgot how fucking cool this is. And like it just like blew my mind. Like I love that soundtrack so much, and I went back and listened to like half of the Mario Galaxy soundtrack. Yeah, it's so good.
That's gonna be my covers. Just me singing like that.
I need to do like a few more. Like a lot of people have requested, like I think it's Good Egg Galaxy.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones. I'm trying to think. Battle Rock was obviously one of the best. I can't even remember. There's so many good tracks from that series, but
yeah, there's yeah, absolutely, and the second game too. Like that, well, yeah, you said series, but yeah, the music from that's fantastic, and I definitely need to make another round back at that stuff again.
So speaking of video games, have you been keeping up with E3 at all?
I watched every conference.
What was your favorite conference and what was your least favorite? Because I know my least favorite.
Of course you would ask that question. Hold on, my keyboard's unplugged, even though I don't need it.
I'm just gonna, while you're looking, I just want to say, and people that are on Twitter know that I'm a little bit sour about this, like real sour. I'm a huge Metroid Prime fan. Like, it's in my blood.
I'm sorry. My condolences.
Probably my favorite video game of all time. And I know some people are like, you get the people like, just be open-minded. It's a 3DS game. It could be fun. And I'm just like, you don't understand. When I saw that gamepad come out, the first thing I thought was, this would make for an awesome Metroid Prime game. And I've been waiting for 3 years for them to move on it. And the worst part is, I'm ranting a little bit here. I'm co-opting this, all right? The worst part is, they had an interview with, I think, it was the lead designer of Metroid, or like the head of, I can't remember who it was, but he basically implied that they haven't even begun work on it. He's like, if we started work on it at this point, it would have to move to the NX. I'm like, so you haven't even started work on it. You got this 3DS title, this whatever it is, Metroid Prime Federation Force, which it hurt. It, like literally, I was watching the conference and I was just like, oh, no, there goes all my hope.
You're answering the latter half of that question you asked me for me, because it's not only that, but it's like they kept going on and on about how it's Mario's 30th anniversary, and it's like, yes, I need a sequel. I need a legit AAA Nintendo sequel to Mario Galaxy. I want another Sunshine. I want another 64. I want another main game, not a 3D Land or whatever. Those games are good, but I want another big budget Nintendo Mario game. Oh, you get Mario Maker. It's like, okay, that's cool, but it's the 30th anniversary. What? That's like you're giving him a cupcake for his birthday present.
That's better than Samus got for the 25th anniversary. So
that's true.
That's just why I'm a little bit heartbroken. But I guess I didn't mean to answer that one for you. If you want to say anything else.
Because you're voicing my thoughts for me. And it really seems like they're just pushing amiibos a lot lately. So like last year, their E3 thing was great. It was awesome. They announced Splatoon. They had like a million other games. This year, it was just kind of bad. It was annoying. I mean, it's like we knew about Woolly World. I mean, that's cool, but it comes out in 2 weeks. And like Star Fox, the Star Fox Zero or whatever, like that's gonna be cool, especially since it's being co-developed by Platinum Games. Yeah. But that was like the only thing. Everything else was just like, oh look, shovelware.
Started out great, and then just like tanked. So what about best?
It was pretty bad. Actually, Iwata apologized for that. He was like, I'm sorry, that was bad.
No.
On Twitter.
That's, I don't know. I could talk a lot longer about it, but I got to stop myself.
Yeah.
What about
and
best?
As for the best, are we talking consoles, developers,
anything,
or
like
both?
any presentation, best presentation and game that you're most excited for? You got to pick just one of each.
Game that I'm most excited for. And okay, I guess I'll kind of go with three. Best overall, I'd say was probably Square Enix, because they literally just announced a million fucking games, and they all look good. Sony's was really good, and I'm really, really, really excited and hyped for No Man's Sky, even though there's a potential that game's gonna suck or never come out, but I really want it to be good.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I'm like cautiously optimistic. Like I see that the complaints that some people raise of, well, what are you gonna do in the game? Like, or what are the objectives? Is there any story? At the same time, I'm like, if it's good enough and it's fun enough, then I just want to like fly around in space.
If it keeps you engaged, then like it really you don't need like a linear progressing story. Like, I mean, like everyone and their fucking mom plays Minecraft, and that's a really good sandbox game. But that's a sandbox game, and But then there's Terraria, which is an adventure game with sandbox elements, and Starbound, which is an exploration adventure sandbox game. And I played both of those games like a shitload, and they don't really have a story.
Yeah.
Well, they have like lore and stuff, but it's like not really like a story. So people are asking like, what am I gonna do? It's like, it's a universe simulator, man. Whatever you want. There's fucking space dinosaurs. Go hang out with them. Like. And
I'm actually gonna post an interview with some of the game's composers because they talked about how the game music it's kind of like what is it called? It's some kind of sequencing where it's evolving with the way you play. Like there's no set tracks. They just have melodies that come in and out at different points in the game. I don't know. Okay. I can't really explain it better, but I'll put that in the description. So. So, do you have any tips or advice for people, with the newer channels or like suggestions for creating a more unique sound since you've kind of got your mark as your channel is known as the progressive metal remixes, the BT Bam of the video game world. One of the Holy Trinity, you, Toxic, and Family Jewels, the Holy Trinity. Do you want to go that far?
That's entirely subjective, man.
I'm calling it Holy Trinity right now.
If you want, I guess like if you just want my personal advice, if you're like trying to make like your own sound, is just like draw off of your influences. Like, and this is just like, I know this is just like one part of your question. It's like, well, yeah, duh, draw off your influences, but my answer to that is listen to more music, because the more music you like, of course, if you're just listening to the radio and or you like have one band that you really like, you're going to listen to them a lot and you're going to sound like them when you write stuff because you're drawing influence from them. But if you listen to a shitload of people and a shitload of things, you're going to be drawing influences like from all over the place. And, I know I sound a lot like I generally kind of steal, like not steal, but I take a lot of cues from BT Bam. But they draw influences from like King Crimson and Dream Theater, and I also listen to those bands, so it's not a coincidence. So really it's just like don't be afraid to have like an idea that's like, man, what if I took this game song and made it in the style of, I don't know, Yellow Card. Like who cares? Like people go, Yellow Card. Like who cares? Like fucking do it. Like if you think it'd be cool and you can have like electric violin or make it sound like Yellow Card and it sounds good to you, then I guarantee other people will enjoy it. So just fucking do it, man. Like don't feel like man, I have to put like a breakdown here, or man, I have to do it like blank. Don't feel like you have to do it anyway. Just do it however you're going to do it. Do it how you think it sounds good to you. The more authentic and genuine it is, like from your standpoint, I feel like the more like people who like it, the stronger they'll like it. Like you get like a dedicated fan base.
The stronger the response.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like fucking 5,500 subs in the scope of YouTube, whatever. But a lot of those people are like, they're like, man, you're like my favorite when it comes to video game covers because it's all like progressive and stuff. I'm like, man, that's great. And there's other people who do that type of stuff too. Like Tetramino VG Band is like a jazz fusion thing. Insane in the Rain Music does it kind of like jazzy. You hear that, Carlos? Jazzy. And like even like Swiggles, like he does a lot of kind of like Misha Mansour-esque gent and stuff like progressive gent, especially more recently. So don't be afraid. Don't just feel like you have to do it like AC/DC. If you like AC/DC, do it just like them. Who cares? Just do what sounds good to you. And other tips, just in terms of channel, for YouTube and stuff, is definitely talk with other people in the community. Like if you want to talk to me, fucking do it. If you want to, I guarantee, like most of the other people that we've talked about today, if you shoot them a message on YouTube or Facebook, they'll happily reciprocate and like talk to you. They're not gonna be like, oh, you're just fucking. No, we're not like that. The video game community, from what I can tell, generally is not like that. Everyone's so fucking cool. Everyone's super chill, super helpful, and that's one of the reasons that I'm still doing it, is because I like the community so much. So, talk to people, draw on your influences, listen to a lot of music, and don't be afraid to try new stuff. And past that, it's just a lot of like shitty things like manipulating YouTube's algorithm for searches and stuff. But
post time Thursdays and Fridays.
Yeah, that's an entire headache. And when you're shooting videos, at least in my experience, do it when you like try to put yourself in a good mood, because I guarantee by the end of it, you're probably gonna hate your fucking life. I hate shooting video. I like everything else, but the act of like shooting the video is the worst thing ever. Like I try to get cool angles and stuff and make it good. I hate doing it. But that's just me. Some people probably like doing it. So
All right.
I just rambled for 5 minutes straight. If you have any
you
more
gave
questions.
some very important tips, which is what I asked. So, one final thing: multiplayer 2.
Yeah.
The co-oping, or is it just co-op? It's probably just co-op.
Something like that.
Do you know who you're going to be working with? Can you talk anything about it? Can you tell me?
I do know who I'm working with.
You can't tell me, can you?
I could disclose who I'm working with, but I feel like it would ruin the surprise, because if I tell you, you're gonna go, what? That doesn't make sense. It's gonna be good. But yeah, I am collaborating with on something with someone. It's almost guaranteed to be from an old NES game. We have a couple. We do have a couple selections like nailed down. We think we know what we're gonna do, and I think it'll be surprising, because it's not. This person doesn't normally do metal.
Very interesting. I'm intrigued. All right, what about other upcoming covers? Anything coming down the pipeline you want to talk about?
I really want to do an original. I've been working on an original arrangement that is just way too gnarly, and that's kind of on the back burner at the moment because I like burn myself out on it. I do want to, and like people have been asking for more originals, especially following my last one, which went over pretty well. Like I didn't expect it to be that well received, so I'll happily do that. Other covers, I'm always wanting to do more Chrono Trigger stuff. I have a cover of Shala's theme in the works, but that's not quite done yet. I want to do Castlevania stuff. I want to do more Shovel Knight, but Shovel Knight Vert sucks. The Shovel Knight music is so difficult to cover. It's entirely. If you ask anyone who's covered it, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it sucks." I mean, it's amazing, but it sucks. I want to do more of that, and I also really, really, really want to do a cover of Dragon Roost Island from Wind Waker. But yeah, I know, but I can't ruin it. I cannot. That's another song that's like so close to me because I love it so much. I can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna breakdowns. Like I can't. I have to take a long time on that one. So that'll probably be a big elaborate thing like Midna's Lament was.
Okay. Very cool. That's
what's coming down the pipeline.
Can I make a suggestion? Because I was listening to your Sonic Adventure 2 cover earlier today.
Interesting.
And I really like that game soundtrack, so there's plenty of songs to go from there.
Yeah, there are. The problem with that one is the problem with that soundtrack is I am an edgy piece of shit that only covers edgy stuff, and everything from that game is just happy. That's not a real point. I'll cover more stuff. But it's also already kind of like in a rock metal type of thing, and a lot of it has vocals. So that's definitely a possibility. Like some people have asked about more Sonic, and like there's other Sonic games that have great music. Like that reminds me, I kind of also want to do Chemical Plant Zone. Even though everyone and their mom's done the cover of that one, I still want to do that one because the music from it's awesome. So it's not out of the question.
Okay, very cool. Well, thank you for taking the time and talking with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
I don't know. Wait, ask that question again.
I was saying, did you...
So, my advice for... Oops, did I make the camera move? That's fine. So my advice...
Emphatic.
Huh?
I said it's emphatic. You're making
exactly. So, hold on. I don't want to... No! Okay. So, I don't want... Tips for people. If you're new to YouTube, I guess I might not be the best person to ask, but... All
right. Deep breaths.
Yeah.
Do you mind sitting a little bit closer to the center?
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. There we go.
That's good. Sorry. It's just like I said, I use the left and right top stuff for my video and other stuff. So
yeah, that's fine.
I gotta do the intro. You're gonna make me laugh and I'm not gonna be able to do it. Damn it. I'm gonna have to do an outtakes for this one.
That's fine.
All right. God damn it, I can't fucking focus now.
Do you want me to
No, you're fine, you're fine. I'm professional. I'm a professional. I do this not as my daily job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun. Yeah, maybe wear sunglasses.
Those are the worst sunglasses.